You each were, you asked 4 questions, and maybe that's what you were allowed to ask by the campaign or the White House. But they were essentially the same questions, both interviews, about accomplishments, progress in your respective state, what's at stake in the election, what he has to say about his debate performance, and what he would say to voters who think their vote doesn't matter or might sit this election out. Were those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Okay. And the reason I ask is not a criticism of either of you. It's just that if the White House is trying now to prove the vim, vigor, acuity of the president, I don't know how they do that by sending questions first before the interview so that the president knows.
All right, guys, so we got to do a quick follow-up video to a video that I did earlier today about a black radio host who happens to be a black liberal woman going on CNN and exposing the Biden campaign for essentially sending her questions that she must ask Joe Biden before the interview, and then asking Joe Biden those pre-approved questions. Now, again, this is kind of a big deal because the whole point of these interviews is to prove that Joe Biden is cognitively capable of being president of the United States. Okay, so now that this news has come out of the Biden campaign essentially rigging these interviews by sending the questions that can be asked to the interviewer before the interview, it basically just destroys the whole point of doing the interviews in the first place, okay? Because essentially the interviews were rigged. Now all of a sudden, this host has been fired from this all-black radio station, which, by the way, I found to be pretty hilarious, okay? We have black radio stations, apparently, okay? I mean, what do you consider the white radio station, okay? I haven't heard of any of those, but apparently we have black radio stations in 2024. But yeah, they fired this woman for telling the truth, snitching on the Biden administration on CNN. And obviously, this is extremely humiliating for the Biden administration. And I think this is revenge, right, for stabbing Joe Biden in the back, right? You see what Joe Biden does to these black women? Okay, if you don't go along with the Democrat Party in lockstep, they throw you away like a used condom, okay? You guys remember that video of Joe Biden ignoring that little black girl, okay, at the campaign rally? Yeah, this is how Joe Biden and Democrats treat black people and black women as well, too. Their strongest supporters, right? This is how they treat them when they fall out of line, okay? You get punished, okay? Which is exactly what's happening to this radio host. So without further ado, let's get into it. The all-black Pennsylvania radio station WURD landed the first interview with Joe Biden after his rightfully maligned presidential debate performance last month. Afterward, host Andrea Lawful-Sanders flirtatiously admitted to CNN that she asked the president questions sent to her from the White House. Quote, "The questions were sent to me for approval. I approve of them." Lawful-Sanders said Saturday of her July 4th interview with Biden, quote, "I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved." The station, which says it was unaware of the host's agreement with the Biden campaign, parted ways with Lawful-Sanders on Sunday. WURD Radio CEO Sarah M. Lomax announced Lawful-Sanders' departure in a message titled, quote, "Accountability, Access, and a Path Forward, Why Black Media Matters" on the station's website. The statement reads as follows. Quote, "WURD Radio remains an independent voice that our audience can trust will hold elected officials accountable. As Pennsylvania's only independent black-owned talk radio station, WURD Radio has cultivated that trust with our audience over our 20-year history. This is something we take very seriously. Agreeing to a predetermined set of questions jeopardizes that trust and is not a practice that WURD Radio engages in or endorses as a matter of practice or official policy." Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't believe a word of this, right? I do not believe a word of this. I think that WURD here is upset that this woman snitched on the Biden administration, okay? Because this radio station is liberal Democrat Party propaganda, okay? Don't get it twisted, because if they weren't, then Biden would not have done the interview. The fact that Biden did the interview tells you everything you need to know, because Biden does not do hostile interviews, okay? He will not go on Fox News. He will not go on News Nation. He will not go on Newsmax. He will not go on any station or network or news outlet that is going to be hostile to the Democrat Party, right? So you know going into this that this is very Biden-friendly territory. So to act like they're not propaganda for the Democrat Party is just silly, right? Because this radio station definitely is, no doubt. As Pennsylvania's only independent black-owned talk radio station, WURD Radio has cultivated that trust with our audience over our 20-year history. This is something we take very seriously. Agreeing to a predetermined set of questions jeopardizes that trust and is not a practice that WURD Radio engages in or endorses as a matter of practice or official policy. WURD Radio is not a mouthpiece for the Biden or any other administration. Yeah, I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that at all, okay? And one of the reasons why I don't believe it is because after all this came out, some of the people and the CEO at this radio station have been exposed, okay? From St. James Heartline, he says, a review of FEC records shows the radio station CEO and others employed by the station have made campaign contributions to Joe Biden's campaign, the DNC, and super PACs dedicated to defeating Republicans, thus undermining claims made by the station's CEO. Okay, so check this out. You have evidence here that this radio station is in fact propaganda for the Democrat Party. As you can see here, you have donations being made to Democrats from employees at the radio station, the CEO, Sarah Lomax-Reese, I believe that's her name, okay, going to Democrats. In fact, I looked up her donations, and she had been donating as far back as 2007, I believe, to Barack Obama. Okay, so to say that this is not a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party when this whole station is owned by Democrats, right, Democrat activists, it's kind of silly, right? It really is. I mean, it's right here, okay? You can see all the donations and stuff like that. So I'm just saying that this is not entirely true from this radio station. I'm not buying their explanation. So with that being said, do I think that this woman should have been fired? I mean, you know, if this radio station, which is owned by journalists, I believe, or put it this way, the CEO, Sarah Lomax-Reese, if this radio station claims to be doing journalism, then yeah, because this is not journalism. But let's not act like this woman would have been fired had she not said anything, right? Had she just, you know, kept it a secret, and it's definitely something that they knew, no doubt that they knew, right? Had she just not went to CNN and said it out loud to the world, she would have been fine, okay? Because I believe that this is a common practice, okay? This is what happens all the time. The liberal media, CNN, MSNBC, of course, they're leaking questions or having the White House give them the questions that can be asked during these interviews, right? If you listen to some of these interviews compared to the interviews they do with Republicans, it's like night and day, okay? They softball Democrats and they hardball Republicans. So, of course, this is what's happening. I just think that more people in the media should be exposed for doing this and should be fired, right? Watching this woman be fired because she told the truth about what everybody else is doing, right? I'm just saying, why should she be the only one to get fired, okay? Because I'm not saying that she shouldn't have been fired. I'm just saying that if this is the standard, you're not supposed to do this, then I think that a lot of these so-called journalists in these mainstream liberal media outlets should be fired, because I'm pretty sure this is common practice. This woman just got punished because she exposed it, okay? Because she humiliated the Biden administration by going to CNN and telling that little secret. Now they're trying to get back at her and punish her for telling the truth. It really is sad. But again, this is just a part of the disaster, the slow-moving train wreck that is the Biden campaign. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.